the Everything But Politics podcast.
All right, we're live. Everything But Politics, 149th edition, joined by Jared Laurence. Jared, great to meet you, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Kind of wish I was the next one so I can be on the 150th. It's good, but we're gonna make this one even better, so it's fine.
There we go. I love the energy. Jared, I'd love if you could start by introducing yourself to our listeners.
Yeah, so my name is Jared Laurence, founder of Modern Success. I have been a dating coach for men since 2007, so we're coming up to nearly like 2 decades here in this space. I founded Modern Success in 2019 and kind of like did it on my own, and we've scaled ever since. We're easily one of the top 5 or top 3 largest dating coaching companies right now. I've been featured on MTV, A&E, ABC, Oxygen, Fox, NBC, CBL, the fucking letters. I'm also unique with my space is I am a trained therapist. There's a lot of guys who are just kind of like self-proclaimed fuckboys, and they're like, oh, look at me approach girls, whatever. I have studied the psychology behind it. I went to grad school. I trained to get my therapist license. To date, I'm responsible for about 400 marriages, around there, like 386 or something like that, marriages that I even know of. And we've helped, I think, north of 6,000 students now around the world find the love of their life and just have an amazing social and dating life along the way.
Amazing. Yeah, I was going to mention the marriages. When you hear that figure, like 400 marriages put together by you and your business, what's the first thing you feel or think of or comes to mind?
First thing that comes to mind is I'm a little offended that no one's named Jared. I thought at least one kid would be born and they'd name him after me, but so far I haven't heard of one. But other than that, no, I mean, it's a great feeling. I've been a groomsman 20 something times from,
Nice.
My students. Like I remember one guy, Dave, out in Vegas. He was on a boot camp with me in Vegas, and I watched him approach a girl and like hit it off using everything I taught him. Fast forward, I'm at this guy's wedding with that girl that he met on my boot camp, and now he has 2 beautiful children along the way. So It's very, very rewarding feeling, especially coming from where I came from, where I was bullied, I was picked on. I mean, I couldn't get laid in a whorehouse with $5,000 in my pocket. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I still have it, actually. If you want me, I can run and get it. But like, my prom night in high school, I was a virgin, was trying to lose it. I saw American Pie. I'm like, I'm going to, follow the movie script here. And long story short, I'm at the after party with her. It's not going well. And I see her, well, my friend sees her walking to the bathroom with another guy. And he comes to me and says, bro, just leave. And then I found out the next day, he lost his virginity to my prom date. And she left her dress in my car. To this day, I still have that dress. I should have came prepared with it. I still have to just remind me about where I came from and how bad I used to have it.
So Jared, being a dating coach is such like a specific niche. At what age did you make the decision like this could be a career path?
It was Alice falling down the rabbit hole. Like it wasn't ever like I guess I was 24, 20, because I was doing it since I was 21. And I actually turned it down the first time I was offered, because what happened was I was in this like underground secret society of pickup artists. That was like the thing back in 2006 for anyone who's read The Game by Neil Strauss out there. And so I was in this underground society, skull and crossbones, like you don't talk about it. This really wasn't a business. This was a secret fraternity. And it was really cool to be part of it during those days, because there's nothing like it, anymore, right? It was literally like Fight Club. You don't talk about this shit. So I was in that secret community and I was posting on there. And then the one post that got me famous was, there was some lay report where I had sex with a cop in a jail. I met this girl, turned out she was a cop. And then long story short, I'm sleeping with her in the jail, not a cell, but in the jail. And I write this report and everybody takes notice of me. And a local company called Miami Dating Coach hits me up and they're like, dude, why don't you become a coach and I'm 21. And they're like, why don't you be a coach? And I'm like, no, what are you kidding me? Like, I'm not like, I'm good, but I'm not that good. He asked me again, and his pitch was, I will pay you $25 an hour to take guys out to clubs and hit on girls, which you're already doing. And I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty good, fair.
Let's go.
Yeah. let's go. I'm like, this is college me, 21 years old. Like, okay. My audition, like literally had me audition. And the student watched me approach this girl. I'm talking to her, and then I'm putting my phone in her hand, and she's giving me her number while I'm scratching the back of her hair, and she's kind of like getting a massage, or whatever. And then I go like, "Do I pass the audition?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, you pass. You're good." So that was the first beginning. And then fast forward, I think like 3 or 4 years, I'm always doing it part time. It's how I make my money. And then I realized something. At that point, I was making like 60 grand a year just doing this part time, just the coaching thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got my degree in being a therapist. So I'm doing this therapy work and I'm doing the dating coach work. And I'm like, this is way more fun and more fulfilling. The therapy shit is depressing as hell. And it's not that fun. There's a lot of paperwork involved that people don't realize. Like you have to like fill stuff out and assessments and shit. So I'm like, and my goal for this is to make the same amount of money as a coaching. So why the hell am I doing this? So I quit that and I just haven't looked back since. Like, so I guess that was like the moment where I'm like, shit, I'm legit doing this for real now.
Well, we gotta discuss that from the 18-year-old ditched at prom kind of energy to 21-year-old. That's a serious 3-year gap where a serious evolution happened. Talk to us about what led you from being dumped at your senior prom to 3 years later to being a dating coach.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, that's just one of the like I've got tons of weird types of rejection from women, like tooling me. Man, I remember I took a girl on a date once, and then she saw a guy, like a live band going, and he pointed at her, pointed at him, and she goes, "Oh, I think I know him." No, you don't. But she goes up to like see him after, and I'm like spying on them like a creep. So I'm like, surely she's gonna come back. And then I watch him take her to his car and go in the back seat, and then I see the car start rocking. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, did this just happen? And I go and I sit down on a bench, and I just start crying. I'm bawling. I'm just like, this is awful. Next thing I know, it starts raining on me it's like a fucking movie. So now I'm sitting on a bench, I'm crying, I'm getting rained on, and the cherry on top, a bum is walking by, this homeless guy, and he goes, "Hey man, are you okay? Do you need anything?" And I'm like, forget, this is enough to know. Like, I give it like it was like a movie. It was literally like a movie. But what got me there, to get past all of it, because now I'm with the love of my life. I've been with, body counts in the hundreds, done crazy social circle. I would be the guy that bring 15 to 30 girls on a party bus out with me to the bar, get free tables by the DJ booth back in my, 20s days, in 8-figure social circle, 8-figure entrepreneur masterminds and stuff. So like I worked my way up all through that. And the number one thing that, to answer your question, number one thing that got me there is a simple truth that nobody wants to admit or acknowledge or just understand. And that is getting good with women or people in general is a learnable and teachable skill set. And the problem here is what I call the Disney lie. So the Disney lie is just be yourself and be confident, the generic cookie cutter Google advice we always hear, right? Just be yourself and be confident. And when the chemistry's there, the sparks will be there, and then it'll be fine, all right? And your person is meant for you, man. You just got to keep walking around, and one day a girl's going to bump into you holding her notebooks, and it's going to spill, and you're going to go to pick it up and bump each other in the head, and then you're going to fall in love. Like, that's what the movies tell us. Take this advice for any other fucking thing you care about. Merrick, you're in good shape. I can tell you. You got some guns on you, right? Like, you look like you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
If
Thanks.
I'm your personal trainer, you go to a gym, I'm assuming? You have a gym membership?
Yeah.
All right. What would you do if you come to gym membership? I get introduced as your personal trainer. Like, all right, man, how do I get in shape? And I'm like, you pick whatever weight you want. You do whatever the hell you want to do with it. Just remember, be authentic.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
No. Just be confident. If you're confident, the muscles will come. Just lift stuff, bro. Just do what you feel is genuine.
Like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Evan, you got a successful podcast going, right?
Yep.
All right, just be yourself with the podcast. Don't worry. Put out whatever shit you want. Don't worry about the fucking mics. Don't worry about the lights. Don't worry about the platform. Don't worry about marketing. That's all gimmicky. I don't know if that's even you. Just do whatever. Yeah. Feel it out. And then the right people who want to listen to podcasts, you'll just have chemistry with them. Now, there are truths to, there are some wiggle room here. Like you can't force a round peg into a square hole, and not every girl is going to be the right one. There's plenty of times I got rejected, plenty of times I did the rejecting. But holy shit, if we understand there is a science and a skill to making money, there's a science and a skill to getting in shape. Why is it so hard to acknowledge there's a science and a skill to getting the kind of women we want, getting the network and the friendships we want, and building up our social skills? That's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. But when I did, I went out religious. You could not keep me in the house 6 nights a week because even God needed one day of rest. I was out every night working on this stuff, tweaking it, back to the drawing board. That didn't work. What do I do? Let me switch that up. Let me switch that up. And I finally came up with my attraction ladder. And when I do the attraction ladder, I get success basically about like 80% of the time.
So let's talk about those 2 examples you just brought up. One being the gym and the other being the podcast.
Sure.
For the gym example, trainer says lift weights, just kind of do your thing. The way I understood that was a lack of structure. The podcast I feel is a little different because it is your podcast. You can be creative, you can do what you want. But if you are going to take it to the next level, you do need those things you mentioned, right? Marketing, good microphones, good setup. But I guess depending on who you're talking to, if you have that fat slob, hasn't been to the gym in a decade, that's not a bad approach. Go just push weight around, just get in there. If you're on episode 1 of that podcast, just turn on Riverside and get going. But then over time, you need to slowly evolve and sharpen your tools. And like you said, dating or just confidence with women or sales or anything in general, that's where you really got to kind of sharpen your blade. Is that a good take on the assessment?
Well, if you think about, okay, so let's say, first off, you're absolutely right. But let's really look at what you just said there, right?
Okay.
You don't have a podcast. Go out and start a podcast. That's great advice if you're not doing shit. You're a fat slob. You won't leave the couch. Get on a treadmill. Lift a weight. Do anything. That's always going to be sitting on the couch. So the equivalent to this is go approach a girl. Go talk to a girl. Just go approach her and say anything. Do anything. Go ahead and take whatever bed pictures you can and start swiping. Get on the apps. Text them anything. Because if you take any action, that's always going to be better than inaction.
Agreed. Always.
So to get started, absolutely. Go ahead, get started, rip the Band-Aid off. Especially for approaching women, it's called systematic desensitization. They got to get progressively better and better and easier talking to the girls. And then a flooding technique, one of the things I teach all my guys is to befriend the first 6 gorgeous women you meet. Like purposely go in the friend zone for so many reasons. Because most guys, if they struggle with it, because I get 2 types of guys. I get guys who are like, they were like me, sadly, they struggled and they can't talk to a girl and they got lots of anxiety and they're awkward or whatever. But then I also get these really high level guys, like high status guys, high executives who are, they're entrepreneurs, they're workaholics, and they just can't talk about anything other than their work because that's all they do. Their whole life is their work and they don't do anything else or they don't have time for it. They're just like, I want to get this down quick and I'm busy all the time, right? So the idea should be, like you said, go out and just kind of rip that Band-Aid off, get started. But when you have female friends, very attractive female friends, and you don't try to date the first, beautiful girl that's going to touch your pee-pee, that's when you realize, oh my God, there's so much more to this. Because what happens is if you have like even 2, I'll make it easy. Let's say 2 really gorgeous female friends. Ideally, I like 6. I call it the entourage. A few things happen. Number 1, when you go out with 6 attractive girls, you are on easy mode. It's like having a star in Mario. You can't lose. You just can't. Like every girl looking at you can be like, they can say they're not attracted to you, but they can't say you're unattractive. This guy's surrounded by women. In psychology, it's called pre-selection. When women are wired, when they see a man surrounded by other women and they feel that that man is a scarce resource, that other women want him, his attraction instantly goes through the roof. In business, think scarcity, right? Like it's a scarce resource. Everybody wants it, so now all of a sudden it's like shit. Or social proof. Same thing in business. We talk about social proof, testimonials. This is live testimonials of your attractiveness because these women wouldn't be around you if you weren't cool or somebody. So that's number 1. Pre-selection is very powerful. Number 2, birds of a feather flock together. These attractive women are going to introduce you to other attractive friends of theirs. They're going to meet other girls. You're going to be a great wing girl. So now you're meeting all these other amazing women. And the third one, and there's more, but I'll wrap it up with the third one, and probably the most powerful one for me. You finally understand and get a woman's mindset. You are able to have deep empathy. You're able to see things through a woman's lens and understand her as men that we were never able to really do before. And when you're around all these gorgeous women all the time, it becomes no big deal. Most guys, that gorgeous girl walks in, the movie, the wind's blowing, the hair is going, time is slowing down. You're like, holy shit, you get this level of awareness, like, oh my God. And like, you just get glued. That really diminishes when you're around beauty all the time. And you're just like, cool, she's obviously attractive. Awesome. I'll go talk to her, see if she's cool. It like doesn't affect you on the same level. Because when you think about it, every guy listening to this, the only shit you know about women comes from one of three places. Your mom and sister, if you have a sister, watching YouTube videos on this or reading books or just watching shit on the internet and just listening to whatever Andrew Tate's saying or even what I'm saying or whoever somebody's saying, you're like, okay, I'm going to take notes. Or number three, you meeting women in these like alcohol-infused bars where they're dressed up, makeup on, cleavage out, where they're literally like having their persona. That's not these women I know. The women I know, they're chilling on a couch in their PJs, eating crackers with crumbs on them and shit, and they got like fucking curls in their hair, and like they're not that what's it like, bougie or standoffish, right? They're not like, oh my God, model-esque, whatever. You see the real them, and it makes it so much easier to connect. So having these female friends, it was a game changer when I realized that back in 2009, and I got away from the pickup scene. I think that being the pickup artist from 2006 to 2009 like fucked up my identity. It is a messed up mindset when you base your entire identity on like how many women you can sleep with and hook up with, and it becomes like a drug, and it just never goes away. So I'm glad I was able to get away from that side.
That's so interesting. Well, you've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs and high value businessmen, but with that, those men obviously have the ability to think abundantly. So with that said, why are they struggling to think abundantly when it comes to women and pursuing a high value woman in their life?
Because abundance in what? Right? I mean, like, for example, there's poor people, or poor, let's just say an average worker, whatever. They've got an abundance of food. They got abundance of McDonald's, Mickey D menu, dollar, there's so much food compared to some starving child in Africa. You got abundance of food. Why are they not having an abundance mindset with money? Right? It's just an abundance of what are we talking about? Just because you have a lot of one thing doesn't mean that transfers over to everything. There are tons of really out of shape fat fucks who are super successful and make a lot of money. There's a lot of guys who make a lot of money and they have multiple businesses and they have panic attacks. They have no idea what to say to a girl. They can't talk to a girl to save their life. And then there's broke guys, they're deadbeats, chilling at their parents' house still, who have that gift of gab, who can walk up to girls, charm their pants off. I saw on a YouTube video, there was a homeless guy in New York, and his whole game is meeting women in New York to just stay at their house. He would pick up girls in New York in the daytime just so he'd have a roof over his head. Like, that's how good his game was. So the big three is health, wealth, and relationships, but just because you have one doesn't mean you have success in the other. I have trained multimillionaires, 6'5" rip guys, Abercrombie models. I've worked with guys who were Navy SEALs, even somebody who, I even had one guy, I don't know what he did, whether it was special ops or CIA, but the government paid him to get trained by me. The check came from the USA, from the US Treasury. All right. And he couldn't tell me what he did, but clearly he had to learn seduction techniques to work for the government. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna ask questions, but let's go into it.
Apollo Celine's got your summer playlist covered. Check out their new bangers, Out Till Morning and Search for the Light, available on all streaming platforms. Released June 20th, 2025, these tracks are pure energy, perfect for late night drives or beachside vibes. Don't miss the songs defining summer 2025.
Jared, a video I liked of yours was when you were in Nashville asking the girls about toxic masculinity. And there was the debate of if it's real or not, or if it's just manipulation. What are your thoughts on that?
So toxic masculinity in psychology was a term, I think it came around in the 90s, and it was talking about male prison behavior. So it was a very specific thing. I forget the exact study, but there was a specific term for a specific event. For like, it was very narrow confines, and then pop culture kind of like really broadened the shit out of this.
Yeah.
But it was like meant for one key thing, and then it was like, boom, toxic masculinity in general, because it sounds good, like a buzzword, like toxic masculinity.
yeah.
Oh my god. I don't know. I think there's toxic men, and I think there's toxic women, but I don't think masculinity in and of itself is toxic. Just like femininity in and of itself is toxic. There's no good or bad. It's nature. It's like saying toxic, at least the way I interpret it, is like toxic nature, toxic trees. That's toxic sunlight. I mean, sunlight can be rejuvenating, give you vitamin D, give you a beautiful tan, or it can give you skin cancer. Like, so it just depends on like what are we talking about. If you want to call a guy that like, punches his girlfriend in the face because she didn't get him a beer on time toxic, of course that's toxic, right? But if you're seeing a guy that like, he likes to take boxing lessons or jujitsu, and he has a backbone, and he's able to say no to a woman about something or whatever and have boundaries, is that toxic, or is that just a guy who respects himself? So I'd want to know more exactly what are we talking about with toxic masculinity.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I feel like it's thrown around all the time.
It's a buzzword. I think a lot of the feminists kind of like latched onto. But again, if you just Google this, don't take my word for it. It comes from a prison study. They're literally just talking about the actual origin is about a male behavior in prisons under certain parameters. Like, it's a very specific thing. It has nothing to do with generalized people.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And that, just like the word misogynist too, also kind of a buzzword that emerged, probably since Andrew Tate kind of came on the scene.
Yeah, I mean, you got misogynists, you got narcissists. You realize only 1% of the population is a narcissist. 1%.
Gaslight.
About 15, I want to say, percent of CEOs are narcissists, but only 1% of the population's an actual like clinical narcissist. I will say that, okay, so I've said one side of it. I do feel there's a lot of misogyny going on the internet with the red pill movement. I've kind of got like a personal war against the red pill movement, not its founding, not like its initial core message, but what it's evolved into.
What is the red pill message?
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so let me give you the whole. All right, let me give you the whole history on this shit.
All right.
So when I came in 2006, we had the PUA movement, the pickup artist movement, which I don't like either, because not because it doesn't work. To an extent, it definitely worked, but more because of what it does to your mind. It makes you kind of like an addict. It makes you like have an identity. So there were problems with that, but it was effective. It worked. Okay. But then you get these guys who couldn't hack it. They weren't able to make it work for themselves. And they started a website called PUA Hate. They actually hated on me on the website. I'm like, Mom, I made it. I'm on the website. They're hating on me. It's great. Right? They were hating on all the gurus and all the guys that were out there. I think like around 2008, I was voted the best pickup artist by Thunder, some guy ranking shit. And then people started hating on me. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I'm recognized globally here. So PUA Hate came around, and then PUA Hate was just a bunch of guys who couldn't get successful. So they started hating on the guys who were successful, these PUA guys. Then the PUA Hate site got taken down for whatever reason. And three major movements came about: the red pill, the incels, and the MGTOWs. The MGTOWs are men going their own way. Basically, they're like, I don't want anything to do with women. I'm done with women. I want to pretend they don't exist. Okay? The incels, involuntary celibates, they're just like, woe is me. No one will fuck me. And women should pity me enough to have sex with me. Good luck on that one. And then you get the red pill movement, who are like these PUA stuff, the psychology-driven shit, the technical, tactical stuff that's worked for these guys. That's bullshit. That doesn't work. You know the only thing that matters? being rich and being jacked. You just got to get really in shape and you got to get really, rich because women only care about the superficial shit. So it started with that. And I'm not going to lie, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yeah, make money. There's every evolutionary study has shown women are attracted to resources. No disagreeing here. Being in good shape, duh. Like, attractive is attractive. Get in better shape, of course. You're going to look better than the obese guy. No arguments here, but did you need a fucking movement to tell you make money and get in good shape is a good thing? Like, I feel like we knew that for a long time here. Like, we didn't need a whole movement to tell us this. But then what it morphed into was sociology of nitpicking certain sociological statistics to really make women look bad. Like, women are going to cheat more likely because of X, Y, and Z. Most women today, there's no such thing as, any feminine women. It's all going downhill. And they're cherry picking these kind of studies of showcasing like who you interview. You're interviewing like bottle girls at a nightclub. How about the lawyers, the doctors, the day walkers, the girls who are like just out and about, who run the gym, who are doing fitness modeling, who are doing, yoga retreats? Why are you not talking to these girls? Oh, all your studies are done with coked out women in the club. Got it. That's where you're interviewing. So, or they'll set them up. They'll do these interviews, and I'm guilty of this too, to an extent. And they'll find some drunk ass girls who like are obviously just being extra, whatever. And they'll get all these. They'll get like 20 girls interviewed, and 19 of them will say normal, sensible. And I know this because I'm interviewing them. I'll interview about 20 girls, and about 18 will just give me normal, good answers. Nothing that would go good on the internet. Nothing that would be, you'd want to watch. Mm-hmm. It's just like, that makes sense. That's reasonable. Okay, this girl's a nice girl. But 2 out of 20, they'll say some great shit. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. Wow. And then, of course, that's what's going to get blasted. That's what's going to get the attention, right? Like a minor Haktua girl.
Yeah, our friend Polly just texted us. I sent this one of girl on spring break saying she got laid by 12 guys.
Yeah, Bonnie blew 1,000 guys in one day. This girl, I mean, do these girls exist? Absolutely. But then I also meet girls out there who are like, they're still saving themselves for marriage, or they've only been with like one. Yeah. The point is, anytime you look at all women are this or all men are this, you're fucked and you're getting brainwashed on that point. The way I look at every single girl is as an individual. I don't care about so, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. I'm over here in like Fort Lauderdale, in my background, like Miami. This is sugar baby central of the world. Yeah. This is the king of superficial gold diggers. This is like, tell me a worse place to try to find a good girl.
Yeah, I'm in Boca. I see the same stuff.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, Mary, so you get it. Like, you understand South Florida this is like the worst of the worst when we're talking about this shit. It's not like,
correct,
Tennessee. Okay. I just found the love of my life she's gorgeous. She loves to cook and clean for me. She's feminine in every way. We got pink shit all the time. She's loyal to me. She's down to, pick up other girls alongside me, but she wants nothing to do with any other men. She is in my business. She's learned to be a coach and is helping guys out with their fashion, social media. So she drives me in my business. She gives me peace. She helps raise, the dogs and makes my house a home. And I found her right here, bro. I would not have been able to do that if I had the mindset that the Red Pill's teaching where all women suck, because that's what you're putting out there. If you go into every scenario thinking that, you're screwed, right? And you guys know Tony Robbins, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, how do I do? So, I want to do it, but like properly here. Just not enough. Can I share my screen on this or no?
I think maybe. Give me a second.
Well, I'll just point out the scenario because I don't want to take too much time on it. But like, if I asked Evan to like look at there's not much in my background right now, but look at everything that is green, Evan. Okay, try to take a look at everything around me, and you keep it in your mind. Okay.
Got it.
All right, close your eyes.
Okay.
All right, now list out everything that's orange.
I couldn't tell you.
Open your eyes.
The book right there. There you go.
The book. This guy's all of a sudden it pops out at you, right?
Yep.
This has been here the whole fucking time. It's right there, but you're just seeing trees. You're seeing all the green. So if you're training your brain, it's called specifically your reticular activation system, your RAS. If you're only looking for gold diggers and you expect every woman to be awful and you expect everyone, which by the way, how the hell are you supposed to connect with a girl if you're fostering that kind of bitterness? If you're starting from scratch saying women suck, they are not feminine, West American women are awful now, and they're all fuck all these guys, and every girl acts like a slut, and blah blah blah. If you're coming with that energy initially, how the hell are you going to connect with any girl? You're putting that on her, but she hasn't even said a word, and you're putting that mindset on her. So I teach psychology, not sociology. Even in the hardest place in the world, I said the difference between me and a lot of guys is they're like, you'll never find a good girl in Florida. And I go, all right, hold my beer. Let's do it. I mean, I can't do something. Let's go. Yeah. Right? Like, oh, no, they're all suck here. I'll find one that's good. Watch me. And like that has to be your mindset. You have to trust that you have the skill or can learn the skill to do what everybody can. Like, do you guys know what hypergamy is?
I do not.
Nope.
So hypergamy is a true, and tell me how you guys feel about this first. I'm going to tell you my take on it because my take's very different than a lot of other people.
Okay.
So hypergamy is a sociological study done. It's a statistic that say about 80 to 85%. Let's just say 80. Let's just do a round number. 80% of the women only get with about 20% of the men.
I find that to be true.
No, it is true. It's proven.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that as a question? 20% of the men are getting 80% of all the women.
It kind of goes back to what you said. Like, it's evolutionary, right? It's not, it just, the 80% doesn't provide the same value as the 20%, right? So the women are drawn to what will elevate, what will benefit their life and their lifestyle. So that 20%, that's, chasing that or being drawn to that as the woman is kind of a no-brainer in many cases.
Well, I would say also I feel like there's 80% of the men who also, like kind of what I see from your social media, are scared, don't even want to try. I feel like a lot of men, the 20% that are sleeping with women are ones that are actually going after it.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel this is a good thing, a bad thing? Do you think it's fair, unfair, or it just is?
But I would also add that 80%, they watch porn, they vape, they smoke weed, like they are their own worst enemy in many cases. Whereas that 20% really pushes forward, is disciplined in many aspects, business, relationships, fitness. So, in a lot of ways it's earned rather than in the they're earning it, and the 80% is doing whatever the opposite of earning it is.
Yeah. So when I heard that so by the way, so the average, what do you guys think the average amount of body count the average person has?
5 or
in
6.
Their life?
Oh,
10.
At what age?
I think the study went to the age of like 30 or 40, around there. When it's like kind of
I would say like 7 to 10, yeah.
7 to 10? Merrick?
I right in that range. Yes.
Yeah, you're both right. It's 9.
Okay.
All right. So the average is 9. But then if you just ask the average guy, ask the average man how many women he's been with, it drops down to 4. So there's this giant, again, this is the hype. So again, my dogs are in the background. So this is a giant hypergamy that we're talking about. Now, when I heard about this whole 80-20, whatever percent thing, I loved it. I was so happy. I was giddy. I'm like, you're telling me all I gotta do is get that top 20%, I get the pick of the litter? Let's fucking go. That's amazing. So when most men see that stat in the red pill movement, like you guys are kind of like, you're neutral about it. Like, okay, it makes sense. It's fair. It's cool. Most men are mad. They're upset. They're bitter. They're like, that's bullshit. It's not fair. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because most of, Mary, you're dead on. Most of our competition, they're so bad.
Yeah, video games all night.
Not even okay. So yes. So wait, let's talk about two different things. There's being attractive and then there's attracting. And let's put them in two different categories. So a lot of what you guys are talking about is being attractive. In business, it's like you have a really good offer, and then you also have really good marketing. They're separate, right? Being attractive is like being a really good offer. But you know as well as I do, you can have the best fucking offer, but if you suck at sales and you suck at marketing, no one's buying. Likewise, you can have the stupidest product in the world, but if you're a master at marketing, master at sales, people can still buy. I mean, for Christ's sake, 1970s, they had the pet rock.
Yeah.
It was a multi-million-dollar business, a pet rock. It's insane. It's like, I don't know how better to prove that. They literally just took a rock, put some googly guys on it, and they're like, here, give me $10 or whatever. So the point is, yes, does being attractive help? Absolutely. Making good money, being in shape, getting out of the fucking house, having hobbies. We can do the typical entrepreneur bro shit, sauna, cold plunge, meditation, we live the fucking entrepreneur life, travel, gym, all that shit, right? But all of these things are being attractive. And it's true. And it makes you better as a man.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't tell you how to attract. What do you say? What is your opener? How do you keep this conversation going? What happens when it's becoming too platonic? How do you make it flirty right on command? How do you make her laugh on command? How do you control the group, her and her friends, so that you're not getting cock blocked by one of the girls? How do you run a date that makes her feel she's been on 4 dates with you and not one? I have the answers to all of these questions. I know how to do any single one of these. Every date, the first date a girl goes on with me, instantly feels like 4 dates. And through a technique called time distortion. These are actual techniques and skills that guys can learn to attract a girl. And I'm telling you, I deal with these guys all the time. These guys who are very attractive, but they don't know how to attract. You put them and all these guys who think they're good, come out with me, because everyone loves to talk. These guys love to talk. It's so, me and my partner Cosmo, who runs it with me, he's one of the best I've ever seen in the world. It's so fucking funny to us because these guys are like, oh man, I get so many girls. I only get the really attractive ones. Come out with us, because the real world, it doesn't lie. Come out to a bar. Let's go on a street. You want to do day game? You want to go to the night? Let's go approach girls and let me see what you do. And then all of a sudden, all that male bravado shrinks to nothing. And then you get the excuses. She's not hot enough. I'm not really feeling it. Usually they're not attractive enough. Whatever. And then if they do get forced to, all they can do is brag. Look at my Rolex. I scaled my business up, so hard. I'm taking, I'm really investing in Bitcoin. They just talk about their money. They have nothing else to fucking talk about. Or their PR at the gym. And it's just embarrassing to watch. But that's all they. And I don't blame them for it, because no one taught. You don't learn it from mom and dad. You don't learn it in school. You're sure as hell not learning it from the movies. So it's not their fault. But it's like the last frontier that we as men have to admit, we got to figure this out. It's like fighting. Back in the day, it was like, you just got to be fucking tough and take a punch. Now it's like, no, learn MMA. There's a technique to this. And if you don't actually train and know how to fight, you will lose to a smaller guy than you who does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
On the hunt for legendary wings, Buffalo's in Bloomington, Indiana, and Carmel, Indiana has you covered. Crowned top 10 wings in the nation by USA Today, our wings are a fan favorite. Dip into Mrs. Louie's famous sweet Q sauce for that sweet and tangy kick. Visit Buffalo's and wing it like a pro. And Jared, you could tell me about this, but so much of it is being a solid question asker. And then from there, it's being interested over interesting.
Yes. Well, yes, 100%. I would just put that onto mid-game. One of the biggest things women complain about is men don't listen. And one of the key things you're talking about is called qualification. Asking the key question, kind of like sales, right? You ask the key questions to get the best answers from the deep, real shit that she doesn't often talk about. And then the magic is you listen to her answer and you compliment or show interest based on her answer that ties into her as a person. All right. And there's 5 different ways of doing that. So if a girl is like, Yeah, I work as a nurse because growing up I had a sick mom and I don't want people to suffer the way my mom did. And then I can compliment her and be like, wow, so you actually, got into this because you truly want to help people. Do you understand how rare that is, especially down here in South Florida, with amongst all these girls who just want, especially with a girl who's clearly got, your beauty, where all they want to do is wave a wand being a bottle girl. You're actually out here trying to save lives. Like, damn. I mean, talk about being an amazing nurturer. I bet you're going to be an incredible mom too, because that's what it takes to be a good at nurturing. When you can say like these characteristics attributed to her, that's when she's like, holy shit, he likes me for me. With most guys are like, wow, you're so gorgeous, you're so hot, so sexy, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Like superficial shit, right? In the beginning, though, off the initial approach, we found it's actually better to make statements versus the generic questions, where are you from, what do you do, blah, 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 right? And that's because of classical conditioning. So if you think of the normal guy that goes up to a girl, hey, what's your name? Oh, what are you drinking? Cool. What do you do? Yeah, I'm just out here with my friends. We're just having fun. Where are you from? They ask the same questions. The trick, if anybody listening can do this trick. It's stupid simple. Take those same questions and make them into a statement. So Merrick, we're in Florida. So instead of asking, I would never ask a girl where she's from. Instead, I'll go, I don't know why, but I get this like vibe that you're from the West Coast. You totally give off this like West Coast persona. Now, one of two things are going to happen. Either A, she's from the West Coast. And you go, how the fuck did you know that? And like, now I'm super interesting. She goes, how the hell could you know that? Or she's not from the West Coast. She's here. And she goes, no, I was born here. But why did you think I was from the West Coast? Now I'm intrigued. I'm intriguing. She wants to know why that came off to her. I'm getting the same answer, but all I'm doing is what's called a code read.
What is it called?
It's code reading. It's what sham sidekicks do. So in the beginning, you can just do it on anything. As you get better and better and you talk to more women, you can actually notice stuff and really accurately read them. So like one of my main wingman back in the day, he's the best I've ever seen in it. He does like soul reading. He would talk to a girl and be like, was your mascot the Jaguars? She goes, how the fuck did you know? Yeah, I was the Jaguars. Like, I figured that because he can tell she's country, but she's from this state. And because he plays college baseball, he knows the colleges of that state and what their mascots are. Like, it was just insane shit. This is what psychics use who are really, really good, high-level code reading. But for beginners, you can just take any question, make it a statement, and you're all of a sudden more interesting and intriguing. But Merrick, to your point, when guys don't know how to ask the deeper questions later on and get the answers from the girl, get her trying to impress him, her qualifying herself to him, that's where the real attraction happens. That's one of the most powerful techniques. And it's to ensure later on that the woman wants to go on more dates with him. They don't flake him. They don't ghost him. And it also prevents women from like being closed off in the bedroom as well, because they feel that real powerful connection.
Yeah, I would say like an intimate setting is, easier to connect on a personal level. Whereas if you're at like a bar on a Friday, Saturday night, and like there's so many people around, both men and women, and you're like screaming in her ear because it's so fucking loud, like it's just hard to like get any chemistry or positive energy in that scenario.
All you want in that scenario is two chemistries and energies, playful and flirty. That's all you can hope for in that kind of setting. In a bar, the loud. By the way, here's a pro tip. I can talk to girls perfectly in the loudest club anywhere I want. When everybody kind of struggle, they're texting, I know how to talk to her. Easy conversation. I'll teach you guys how to do it. All right.
Okay.
All you're going to do is you're going to push this flap of your ear in. You push it in, and you're going to take the girl's hand and have her do it to her ear. Don't touch her face because you're going to freak her out. All right. Don't randomly touch a girl's ear. Just take her hand and push this flap in. What it does is it blocks out the bass so that now you hear her clearly in your ear, and she's going to hear you clearly. I've done this in Hakkasan, the loudest club in Vegas. Try it anywhere. Go right next to the boombox, wherever you want. You can have full-blown conversations. But even with that said, again, this is what I'm saying when it comes to like, what is strategy? What are the tactics? What are the ways to win that like people are like not even aware of? But even with that said, you are right. That's not the vibe for having a deep conversation, like the connection building. So at that point, now the game becomes, how do I win over her friends, what I call peer approval, really make her friends love me, and get this fun, playful, flirty vibe with my crush, and now get her alone and away from her friends to someplace quiet and intimate. Maybe it's outside, they're doing a vape break or something. Maybe there's a quieter part in the club or some dark corner or something. Or maybe we go bar hopping. We find some other place that's quieter, but like you can't do real connection in that environment.
Now, Jared, what are some of the key differences from when you started and there wasn't really social media to now? It feels like social media has really put a false hope of reality in both the men and women's eyes.
I mean, Instagram, yeah. The whole rise of Instagram is basically like a walking sales page for you. It's your personal brand.
Yeah.
Fair.
So here's the thing most people don't get. Your Instagram is not for your friends, which most people are like, what do you mean? Of course it's for my friend. No, your friends know. Like, Evan, do you not know what Merrick's up to? Do you not talk to him and like hit him up and you know what he's doing? If he's dating a girl, I'm sure he talks. You're his boy,
Totally.
right?
Yep.
You don't need to wait to see that on a fucking story or a post on Instagram. That's your friend. You talk to him. Instagram is for two people. It's for people that don't know you. It's either for women or new women like you haven't met yet or just meeting and they haven't checked your shit out. Or if you're in business, it's for prospects. My Instagram is not for my clients, my current students, my business one. My personal Instagram is not for my friends. It's for new random people I'm bringing in. And I want to, so if you understand that your friends don't give a fuck what you're posting. Oh, unless they want to tease you, make fun of you, maybe that. But for the most part, they don't care. They're like, they know what you're up to anyways. So it is a walking sales page. So how did it change from, when I got into this in 2006 to 2025?
Yeah.
2 decades later, there's a lot more you have to show, not tell. So back in the day, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, we would have the art of telling really powerful stories. Our stories would be so interesting and intricate and go, wow, this guy lives such a high value lifestyle. He's so attractive. Just the story is amazing. Now it's like, yeah, cool story, bro. Like, no, show me on Instagram where pics or it didn't happen becomes like the new like quote, right? So this is more of a culture of show, don't tell, where you have to show that you have women around you. You're living this attractive life. You're doing cool things. It doesn't matter what you say as much. So I don't teach guys to talk about how high value they are. Fucking demonstrate it. Display your excellence. And if you really want to get a 10, you got to be a 10 yourself. You like to your credit, you can't be the guy just playing video games all day and living on your mom's basement wondering like, why am I not getting a Victoria's Secret model? Like, you need both. You got to learn the game and you got to live a lifestyle that she wants to be a part of. Otherwise, good luck.
Well, it's interesting too because you mentioned since 2006 to now with the emergence of Instagram and even apps like Hinge, Tinder, etc. You kind of had to, I would imagine, in many ways, relearn this game and this market. Is that accurate?
It's like Bitcoin. Every 4 years, there's a new wave, a new cycle, a new thing that's changing the dating market. It's basically every 4 years. It was like the first one, 2006 to like 2010, it was texting. When I was going out, yeah, we could technically text if you hit the K button like 5 times to send a J. Like, it was just not a thing you did. You still called women. The BlackBerry, like that's what we had. So all of a sudden, this new thing came out. Like, oh my God, I have to learn text game. I just used to call women up. I would get their numbers on a paper napkin. I'd bring a pen out, and I would get their number on napkins, and I would call them, and then that was that. And it was it. And now I'm like, wait a minute, now they don't want to talk on the phone. Now we got to learn text game. Then apps became a thing, and we're like, 4 years later, now it's 2014, and we're like, fuck, Tinder's here. I got to learn Tinder game. I got to get pictures and all this shit, right? Now, fast forward 2020, fuck, Instagram's taken off. First, Facebook's whatever, but like everyone wants to meet on. I met my girl on Instagram. She was like an Instagram influencer model. I met her through Instagram. I can tell you the exact strategy of how I got it. Anybody can use if they see some hottie on Instagram. It's tried and true. But the point is like there's always a new technology. And now, 2024, 2025, AI. This is changing the dating landscape tremendously. Before we used to deal with catfish. Now we have AI fish. We have women and men using AI for entire personalities, and they meet up, and then a woman's like, this is not who I was texting. You're not witty or charming or funny or anything, because you're trying to use AI to get around all the texting. They're like, fuck, I have to do something in person. And then instantly the girl's like, what the hell? And girls are doing it too, by the way.
Yeah, that's not sustainable.
Not at all. It's emotional catfishing happening now with AI. It's complete. I think we can talk on that too, but like I honestly, mark my words, you heard it here first. AI is going to have a bigger impact on society than the internet. We're going to see it have way more of an impact than even the internet had, and that's saying something.
Well, you could see it too. Like you see so much bullshit with, especially with captions. You could tell they're so like not drafted by humans. And we joke, not joke, but it's a true tell. Is you get those big hyphens or the large dash. That's the ultimate tell of you're using AI. And Jared, another thing that I think you're already seeing it, but I'm 25, Evan's 24. As our generation, ages, I would say more than half of these marriages will be set up by these apps and Instagram.
So I think this is not your guys are Gen Z.
Correct.
I think this is more for Gen Alpha, like the teenagers. 33% of them are having intimate relationships with AI.
Hey.
33.
What does that mean though? Like, can you please
they
explain?
have an app. I think it's called Replica or it's an AI girlfriend. She will never argue with you. She'll only compliment you. She'll say exactly what you want to hear, and they're having full blown emotional conversation. You know how like some people are using ChatGPT as a therapist, which I'm all for, by the way. I think ChatGPT is amazing as a therapist. If you guys don't use it properly, or a life coach, therapist, helping you see blind spots and shit, ChatGPT is amazing, I think, when it comes to that. But the danger is when you're not just having a breakthroughs, knowledge, let me learn about myself, when you're having intimate like they're saying they love you, Replica or whatever AI girlfriend, and they're getting unproportionate or uncalled for dopamine hits. Because again, this AI is only going to say what it knows they want to hear. It will never argue. It will never challenge them. It is training Gen Alpha now to think all dating should be easy mode. They're kings. Everything's good. Everything is easy in life, whatever. So they're going to have a really hard reality once they're in their 20s or even their 30s playing the dating market. And we're like, wait a minute, women aren't as easy as my AI girlfriend. Like, mark my words, your son or daughter is going to have a high chance of legit wanting to marry and date an AI robot.
Well, we have an 11-year-old cousin, so we'll see. Yeah.
Like I'm calling it. Like I was right about the apps. I called when Tinder first came out. I'm like, this is going to take over everything. Online and my women are like, nah, online dating's for losers. I'm like, just wait. This is going to take over. AI is going to take over. We're not even going to be dating each other initially. We're going to have AI agents date each other, like interact with each other, and then report back to us if they think that person's a good match. And then maybe we meet them in person.
Wait, so as someone that's been doing this for nearly 2 decades, you've noticed these trends, you've called them, you've seen them. 4 years from now, what's the next trend?
That's a good question. I mean, right now the big wave is the whole AI thing. I mean, what the next big lens? I mean, who's to say? Like, I have to see when I see it. It'll pop off. All I know is right now the two big things I'm seeing happening is more and more. I think here's some trends I'm seeing. More and more, both men and women are becoming androgynous.
What was the word you used?
Androgynous.
Okay.
Men are becoming more feminine. Women are becoming more masculine. Less traditional household type stuff. It's becoming more in this PC culture and all that. So it makes it hard for that polarity for attraction to take place, which is going to leave more and more people frustrated or not sexually fulfilled. With that happening, with the rise of AI, you are going to see more people wanting intimate relationships with robots, sex dolls, more involuntary celibate. I think the whole 80-20 is going to start becoming like 90-10. It's going to like get more and more harder and harder. I definitely think more and more like Instagram or social media cloud presence, stuff like that is going to become the new like kind of currency. So it's not going to be so much about, you know, what you can do as a man and provide and like, you know, I'm a leader of my friends. It's going to be, well, what's your follower count? How impactful are you? Because we're living in an age right now. So here's another trend that's happening. Influencers, real authentic people on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, live streamers, for the first time ever, they're becoming more famous and popular than mainstream actors and musicians. So my prediction is when maybe not Gen Z, but when Gen Alpha is in her 20s and 30s, actors and musicians will be like, they're cool and all, but I love my favorite influencer, like Mr. Beast. Like those are going to be the new like super celebrities, because what's happening is, you know, in the 80s, 90s leading up, a celebrity was like forced on you. This is the actor, like him. We're going to market him. This is your guy. Now, whoever's famous and blowing up, it's because the people are choosing it. It's the algorithm. Now, take that into the dating sphere. Well, how come nobody likes you? How come you have no followers? How come you're not doing anything impactful with your social media presence? You must not be desirable. So I think that's going to get more and more and more important as the years go on.
And what advice would you give to young men listening to find themselves in that 10%?
Treat this like your business. Treat this like your fitness. Come up with a plan. Start everything I talk about in my book. Honestly, look, if you want to get successful at anything, it's 3 things: practice to the point of obsession, experiment like a mad scientist, test everything, track everything. So the first thing what you said, take massive action. Get out of the fucking house. Do anything. I challenge everyone listening right now, every man listening, this weekend, no excuses, approach 10 women in one night without alcohol, no drinking. Most guys can't do that simple thing. They can't approach 10 girls without drinking alcohol. They just can't do it. I challenge you right now, if you're listening, do that, because that's the fat man getting on the treadmill for the first time. You're going to get rejected. It's going to suck. You're going to be like, what the fuck? Try not to take it personally. Remember, they don't know who the hell you are. They're just judging this microcosm, whatever you're doing right now, okay? But take action, get out, go and practice, number 1. Number 2, experiment. Don't just throw up some fucking photos of you holding a fish on your online dating or like some selfie with the boys. Like, get a shit ton of different photos, different scenarios. I teach 6 attraction photos to all my guys that beat the algorithm. So I try to get my guys anywhere from like 10 to 20 matches a week. I think that's a good KPI, good metric to go for. So if you're not getting 10 to 20 matches every single week, 20 on a good week, 10 on a bad week, then you're fucking up. Keep switching out your photos. Keep playing and seeing what works. I dialed this the fuck in during COVID in 2020, and I ran the experiment. I'm like, I want to see how many dates I can get in a week. How many can I rack up? And I got 9 dates in 5 days before I turned the experiment off, because I was letting my business go to shit. Like I wasn't able to go to work and do something. Like I have to stop, because at this point, like I have no time to work, right? So I got 9 dates in 5 days. I'm like, I'm done. I figured this out. I cracked it. So make sure you're tweaking things and cracking yourself. And the third one is get a fucking mentor. If not me, somebody. Or at the very least, find someone to model. Someone, if not like an expert, someone who maybe is just slightly better than you. You're not going to figure this out on your own. Or if you are, it's going to take a decade, not years, like a decade. You're going to be smashing your head against the wall, and most likely you're going to fail. Every single incredibly successful person that I've met or known has gotten a mentor in whatever they cared about in their life. Every single one. Even Mark Zuckerberg had Steve Jobs. Like everybody will, anyone who's somebody gets a fucking mentor in this sphere. I learned from some of the greats, Mystery, Adam, Johnny Saporno, Hypnotica. Like I have tons of amazing guys in this atmosphere where I'm like, I'm going to use every single thing I could find from them. So if you have someone better than you teaching you what to do, and you're tweaking every single thing you do, you're actually like using your head, what's working, what's not, and you're going out and getting a lot of data, whether it's online, your Instagram, or your approaches, you're going to get this down. And then the other, like, I'm going to rewind. The last thing is get female friends. I fucking hate the Andrew Tate shit. Men and women can't be friends. Every guy wants to fuck a girl. You can't be friends with a girl because no. Women are social currency. They are one of the most valuable assets you will have when you can have real female friends. Merrick, when you're throwing a party up in Boca, do you want a sausage fest or do you want attractive women at your party?
I want attractive women at my party.
I can come to your party and bring 6 attractive women easily. I'll bring 6 smoke shows to your party. Tell me you don't want me at your party now. Tell me you're not gonna. I'm gonna be the first guy you call. Like, Jared, man, hey, bro, can you like? Am I wrong with that?
I'm sending you my address right now. Let's go.
Like, people, guys don't realize that it will open doors. You will get the hot girl treatment if you have your entourage. If you can have attractive female friends, you owe it to yourself.
Amazing, Jared. I always appreciate when we do episodes and the guest brings a strong energy. So I appreciate you bringing that today. This has been a lot of fun. Good energy, good conversation. Jared, for anyone listening, where can they find you? And if they want to get involved with you and your work, what's the best way to go about that?
I mean, website, that's outdated. Fuck it. I mean, there's you can see me on YouTube. You can see me on TikTok. Honestly, the best way, I put most of my time and energy, I'm on mostly is Instagram. So there's all these different ways. You can find me on a website. You can Google me. You can, that sounds so fucking douchey. Google me. But no, the real thing is you can just hit me up on Instagram, check out my stuff. I love Alex Hormozi from my business. So I think he's one of the GOATs, one of my favorite mentors. So I always like to lead with value. I will not allow my team to take a sales call if someone hasn't gone through some of my free shit first. I will have them cancel the call. I do not want to bring in anyone for anything paid I do until I can prove to you for free that my shit works. So every single person, if you find me on Instagram, the Jared Laurence, and because my mom's weird, Laurence with a U, not a W. It is what it is. But the Jared Laurence, you can see on the screen right here. You can do one of two things. You can comment on any of my reels or DM me the word gift, and I'll send you some of my best training absolutely for free, or you can just go on the website, freegiftfromjared.com, right? So you can, but just DM me the word gift. I'll send you my openers to use, my book with my whole system. I'll give you an entire guide on different ways to text a girl that will stop her ghosting you. Every dating coach I've ever met who said like, oh, if a girl ghosts you, just move on. I have a 60% success rate using these messages for any girl that's ghosting you that will get her responding back and spark things up again. So you get my ghost busting guide, my openers, my book on my system, and I think there's some other fun freebies in there just to show you this works. That's number one. Or you can DM me the word action or just comment action anywhere. And I set everybody up with a free 20 minute call with somebody from my team. These are ex-students of mine, guys who've been through my training. They know it works for themselves. And what they're going to do is they're going to hear your story, see where you struggle, and they're going to assign you homework. They're going to give you some of my best course modules training on whatever it is that's specifically holding you back. And then if, and only if, you watch that training and it works and you like it and it makes sense and you want more, then you can talk about joining like my VIP program. But it all starts with on my Instagram, the Jared Laurence.
Amazing. Jared, thank you for joining us, brother. This has been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Anytime.
Our pleasure.